That sounds great, Corbett. All right, I'm now calling this meeting to order at 4:34 p.m. First off, we're going to start with the territorial acknowledgement. I'd like to respectfully acknowledge that the SFSS is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Musqueam, Coquitlam, and Katzie nations. Unceded means that these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up by these nations, and we're currently situated on occupied territories. All right, we're now going to move on to roll call of attendance. So when I call on your student union or your department or the group that you represent, please state your name, your pronouns, and any accessibility needs. Starting with Bachelor of Environment, or sorry, no, Behavioral Neuroscience. Is the representative from Behavioral Neuroscience present? Biology sends their regrets. Chemistry also sends their regrets. One moment. Cognitive science. Is the representative from cognitive science present? No. Computer science.
Hi, this is Ryan. Pronouns are he, him, his. All my needs are met.
Thank you, Ryan. Education.
Yes, Adrian. Pronouns are she, her, and all my accessibility needs are met.
Thank you, Adrienne. Engineering science.
Hi, Alvin. Pronouns he, him. All my access needs are met.
Thank you, Alvin. English. It's the representative from English present. Environmental science.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Hyde. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and all of my accessibility needs are met.
Thank you, Caitlin. Gender, sexuality, and women's studies. It's the GSWS representative present. Geography.
Hi, sorry. Evangeline, she, her, all my needs are met.
Thank you. Humanities. Actually, humanities sends their regrets. Interactive arts and technology.
Hi, Brian. He, him, his. I do have a class at 5:30, so I might need to leave a few minutes earlier.
No problem. Thank you, Brian. International studies.
Hello, my name is Alia. My pronouns are she, her, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you, Alia. Labor studies.
Hello, my name is Justin, he, him, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you, Justin. Mechatronics system engineering.
Hi, my name is Kimia, she, her, and all my accessibility needs are met.
Thank you, Kimia. MBB.
Hi, my name is Kyle, he, him, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you, Kyle. Philosophy.
Hi, my name is Tony, he, him, his, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you, Tony. Political science. The vice chair is going to be a little bit late today, but she'll be here later. Science, it's myself. Roland, since you just showed up, you can introduce yourself to the cognitive science rep. Roland?
Sorry, sorry for being late and for my mic being muted. Roland Poe, Cognitive Science Student Society. He, him, his needs are met. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you. All right, sociology and anthropology. Sociology rep present. All right, software systems.
Software systems rep is present. Quinn Spielka. Male pronouns and all my access needs are met.
All right, we're now moving on to constituency group representatives, Disability and Neurodiversity Alliance.
Hi, my name is Serena. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I just might ask for clarification if the captions aren't keeping up. But other than that, my accessibility needs are met.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Let me just check physics 1 second. Sorry if we skipped you over. It looks like physics was removed from the roll call, but I'll make a note that you're present, and I'll ask the admin assistant to fix that later. It does look like we are missing a few people on the list here. So yes, Manuel is present. If I didn't call out your name for the department, please just write it in the chat and I'll make a note. All right. Yeah, there is an issue with the attendance here, so I'm just going to write down all of your names in the chat here. Sorry about that. I'll make sure to get the list updated with the admin assistant. Oh boy, it's a lot of people missing. So 1 second, give me a moment here. Okay. Okay, we'll start with Manuel. You can introduce yourself for physics.
Hey, my name is Manuel. All my access needs are met, and I am a he, him.
All right, thank you. I'm just going to go down through the chat. Is history here? Is it Emma?
Hi, I'm Emma. All my access needs are met, and it's she and her.
Thank you. And then Society of Arts and Social Sciences.
Hi, my name is Simran. I'm she, her, and all my accessibility needs have been met. Sorry, guys. I have been dying.
All right, thank you. Who's here for psychology?
Hi, my name is Tiffany. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and all my accessibility needs are being met.
Right, thank you. So criminology.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. Pronouns she, her, and all my needs are met.
All right, thank you, Charlotte. Psychology, we already called them. Who's next? Operations, research.
Hi, my name is Ash. He, him, his, and all my accessibility needs are met.
Thank you. World literature.
Hi, my name is Kashtal. She and hers, and all my accessibility needs have been met. Thanks.
Thank you. We did history, good. Just going down the list. All right, just again, if I missed you, just put your name in the chat for the departments. We're still going through the constituent. Oh my God, I can't say it today. Okay, I'm not saying that. The group representatives. Out on campus collective.
Hi everyone, my name is Victor. My pronouns are he, him, his, and my access needs are met, but I might also have to step out a bit early.
All right, thank you, Victor. Student Athletic Advisory Committee.
Hey everyone, my name is Ryan. My pronouns are he, him, his, and my access needs are met. Thank you.
Thank you. Students of Caribbean and African ancestry sends their regrets. All right, we're now on to the Board of Directors. Just go through the list of executives. President.
Hi everyone, my name is Asab. My pronouns are she and her, and all my access needs have been met. Thank you.
Thank you. VP External Relations. Samad, are you here? Well, he's here, he'll be back. VP Finance.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Corbett, my pronouns are he, him, his, and all my access needs are met. Thank you.
Thank you, Corbett. We missed the FNSA, who, oh yes, the new representative. Callie, you can introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, my name is Callie, and my pronouns are she, her, and my accessibility needs are met.
Thank you. All right, back to the, right, so we do have an alternate in here from SOCA. Thank you for joining us. All right, back to the Board of Directors again. VP Student Services, is Matthew here? Don't believe so. VP Student Life.
Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer, she, her pronouns, and my access needs are met.
Thank you, Jennifer. VP Student, VP University Relations, Gabe is unable to make it today with us. Are any of the at-large reps present? Balkis?
Hello, my name is Balkis. I go by she, her, hers, and my access needs are met.
Thank you. Is Poom here?
Hello, my name is Poom. My pronouns are he, him, his. My access needs are met.
Thank you. Are any of our faculty representatives present? No, all right. Okay, we do have regrets on here from Sarah, but we'll have additional ones. So moving on to adoption of the agenda, 4.1, be it resolved to adopt the agenda as presented. Does anyone?
Software Systems moves this motion.
Yeah, thank you. Does anyone second?
Cognitive Science seconds.
Cognitive Science second. All right, thank you. Is there any discussion? Roland, please mute your mic.
MBB would like to move to amend the agenda to include the discussion item of the current air quality and SFU's lack of communication with the student body regarding it.
All right. Does anyone second this amendment?
Comp sci seconds.
Thank you, Computer Science. Kyle, could you please just type that out in the chat just so that I can add that onto my notes here? Just SFU air quality. Is that a fine title for that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, perfect. Add that. We're now going to move to vote on this item. Seek unanimous consent. If you dissent, please unmute your microphone now. Wasab, would you like to speak on the item that we're voting on right now, or is this on?
Sorry, I just wanted to check. I know that we communicated via email about the document that I sent out to you regarding the SFSS and defunding the police. So I may have missed it. My internet is not that great. Was that added to the agenda for today?
Right, I'm going to add that to amend that onto the agenda after this one here. I'm going to be doing each one separately. All right, seek unanimous consent. If you dissent, please unmute your microphone now. Seeing no objections, this amendment carries. So we now have the discussion item added, SFU air quality. All right, I am now going to move to amend a few things. All right, I'm going to move to amend to include a discussion item on defunding the police resource document. And also I'm going to do this separately. So first of all, I'm going to amend to include a discussion item on defunding the police resource document. Does anyone second this amendment?
Out on campus.
Out on campus seconds. All right, is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to move to vote. Seek unanimous consent. If you dissent, please unmute your microphone now. Seeing no objections, this amendment carries. Add that to our list. I'm now going to move to include another amendment. I'm going to amend the agenda to move the discussion section before the presentation section. Does anyone want to second this amendment?
Software systems seconds.
Software system seconds. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we're going to move to vote. Seeking unanimous consent. If you dissent, please unmute your microphone now. All right, seeing no objections, this amendment carries. We are back to the main motion again. Be it resolved to adopt the agenda as amended. There's no further discussion, so seeking unanimous consent. If you dissent, please unmute your microphone now. Seeing no objections, this motion carries. All right, that's the first time I've ever had to amend that many things onto the agenda. We're now on to motion 5.1. Be it resolved to receive and file the following minutes from 0708. Is that August or July? July 8th, 2020 and July 22nd, 2020. All right. Does anyone want to move this motion?
Software systems moves this motion.
Software systems moves. Does anyone want a second?
Cognitive science seconds.
Cognitive science seconds. All right. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we're going to move to vote. Seek unanimous consent. If you dissent, please unmute your microphone now. Seeing no objections, this motion carries. Oh, I forgot to do another amendment. All right. We're now on to ratification of regrets. Motion 6.1, be it resolved to ratify regrets from Sarah Wong. Would anyone like to move this motion?
Software systems moves this motion.
Would anyone like to second?
CompSci seconds.
CompSci seconds. We're going to move on to discussion. So I'm going to move to amend this motion to include the names Sharon Kim, Nicholas Bonilla, Figor Ubuoma, and Anthony Kim. Does anyone second this amendment?
Software system seconds.
Software system seconds. All right, we're now going to move to vote. Seeking unanimous consent. If you dissent, please unmute your microphone now. Seeing no objections, this motion carries. Just going to post these in the chat for the admin assistant. All right, back to the main motion again. Be it resolved to ratify regrets from Sarah Wong, Sharon Kim, Nicholas Bonilla, Figor Obuoma, and Anthony Kim. Is there any discussion? Wouldn't think so. We're not going to move to vote. Seek unanimous consent. If you dissent, please unmute your microphone now. Seeing no objections, this motion carries. All right, we're now on to item 7.1, reports from the liaisons, starting with the council liaison. Ryan, you have the floor.
Okay, so a lot of this information won't be relevant anymore because we have 2 board meetings to go over. So August 21st, Jennifer's notes will be more complete than mine. General housekeeping business, internal policy review, approving the report of the audit that was previously motioned, preliminary work for the bylaw review, which doesn't really matter because we know how that turned out because Gabe emailed us yesterday. Hiring assistants for various committees, so accessibility committee, general approvals, and then a number of discussion items that I am not privy to. For September 4th, we have, let me pull out my other notes because I'm an organized individual. Okay, so various expenditures. We have SFSS branded face masks for staff, student members of the society. So that would mostly be people like us who have, for various reasons, are going on campus, during, well, not lockdown, but the pandemic. We have expenditures for professional development, which needs specific approval because it might go over the spending limit. So generally the board is, or you can only spend up to a certain limit for professional development on, your assistants, your coordinators, your staff. If you wish to spend over this limit, you must motion it. So something for out on campus, something for the Women's Center. I think if these are relevant to you already know about them. More discussion about the bylaw review, which again is done. The draft copy has been submitted. You can all see that in your inboxes. And then AGM planning, which I'm going to leave to Jennifer.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Jennifer?
Yeah, so I will keep this short and sweet like me, as always. So I have sent the links in the chat. I will go over August 21 first. You can see that I thought that was the longest liaison report at 7 pages, but then the next meeting is 8 pages. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details. If you want to know more, you can just read through the report. It's very detailed. I try to make the language super accessible and try to make it common language so it's not bogged down by Robert's rules and other complicated jargon. But yeah, if you want to know more, read that. Ryan went over most of it. So the most important points were the bylaw review things. Most people on council already know that, but I think we have some new members. So I will read the too long didn't read section. So this bylaw review basically gives council more power and holds the board, which according to this review will be called the executive in the future, which would only consist of president and VPs. So if the council will have more power to hold the board accountable, whereas the board would carry out more day-to-day tasks in between council meetings. If you want more details, just read the report. There's a lot of details there. We also called the annual general meeting for Monday, October 26th at 3:30 p.m. So please be there. I'm going to move on to the September 4th report now. We purchased new /mode, which is used for email campaigns, live tweeting, and petitions. We also passed a motion to basically shame SFU for increasing tuition during the pandemic. So please come to the AGM on Monday, October 26th at 3:30 p.m. to vote to shame SFU, basically. We also passed a motion to keep the student union building closed to the public until November 1st. I know it's pretty much done now, but we have to keep it closed for the safety of people. So we can continue to meme about it being closed. That's basically all the important information that we went over at those 2 meetings. If you want more details, my report is very detailed. You can read it in your own time.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, it has been quite a while, so there is a lot to catch up on. I'll make sure to look over your reports as well again. All right, where are we now? We're now on to reports from, so item 8, reports from board exec directors, starting with the president. You each have 5 minutes, so please keep that in mind. You have the floor.
Thank you, Zaid. My internet cut out for a second, so I'm assuming you called on me, so I'm going to get started and try to keep this fairly quick. I wasn't able to attend the last council meeting, so this may be a couple more items than normal, but I can kind of give a brief overview. But as a reminder to everyone, our board semester reports are actually going to be coming out at the end of the month, in which we will very detailedly describe everything that we've done over the course of the summer semester. So I really hope that counselors will take some time to look over those as well. But generally, between the beginning of August and now, some of the main tasks that I've been working on alongside my other board members include attending meetings such as the Joint Operations Group, which is a group of university admin and the student societies as well, where we are able to bring to the table some of the big pressing issues that we want to see addressed. Those happen once a month, and we do agenda setting meetings as well. So I typically attend those alongside our VP University Relations, Gabe, where we talk about things such as tuition, we talk about things such as deadlines like withdrawal, late payment fees, and kind of try to push the university to make some accommodations for students. It's also a place where we can kind of work on things with the university if things do come up, such as welcome day, etc. I also am a part of the Student Affordability Working Group, which is really exciting. It's actually the first group of its kind with the university. And that is where we are trying to find ways to make financial information more accessible to students, while also looking into ways that we can help students cut costs during their time here at SFU. Another exciting thing that happened is we had our first meeting with the new SFU president, Joy Johnson. This happened earlier this month, and we have monthly meetings with the president and the Associate Vice President, Students and International, and that's something that we'll be continuing to do. And at those meetings is where we kind of bring the big ticket items, as with SFU structure, the president kind of has the final say on quite a lot of things. So that's where I think we can have a pretty big impact, particularly with the new president. A few other projects that I've been working on alongside some of the other board members include kind of finalizing our investment portfolios. We are working with Van City Investment Managers, Corbett and I, our VP Finance. We are pretty much at the end of the road with that situation and are now looking into getting signers approved. And that is a way that we can, continue to make the most out of student money. I've also been meeting with a number of groups such as the satellite design team, who have a big project coming up, trying to make sure that we're able to support them as best as we can and that everything is sorted and ready to go for their launch, which is quite exciting. Gabe, our VP University Relations, and I met with the SFU Faculty Association as we wanted to kind of discuss some mutual pain points and also create some solidarity between unions and groups that can work hopefully together to push the university into having better outcomes for all of our members and also community members, which includes TAs, TMs, instructors, etc. Another thing that we have been working on is re-ratifying the agreement with the First Nations Student Association. That's something that's quite important, and particularly with the new student union building opening up, and also clarifying some pieces to make sure that the FNSA is able to have some good longevity and that we're able to work with them in an appropriate manner and to allow them their financial independence, as we think is quite appropriate. Other things include prep for Welcome Day. I did a little Welcome Day video, which was quite fun, and then participated in things like the Services Fair and Clubs Days today. This has been a really great way to reach out to new students, and we've had conversations with a lot of them, so that has been quite enjoyable. Matt, our VP Student Services, and I have also been working with SFU for student tech support. They're going to be putting out some websites and links where students can get access to hardware at a discounted price. And we are hoping that we can kind of be a medium where we can give suggestions for things like software. So if there are any counselors who are interested, particularly those who are in programs that are software, hardware heavy and become quite expensive, that's something that we're happy to work with you on to get some suggestions on what we can kind of try to get the university to work more on. There's also a big gondola campaign happening right now, as I'm sure you all know, which we have been pushing, and Gabe, our University Relations, and I are going to be attending a number of meetings, stakeholder meetings, etc. I will try to zoom through the rest of these, as I know that they're quite a bit. Our student union building is making good progress, and we've been having meetings with some of the student groups and other groups who are going to be housed in the sub to discuss things like leases and moving arrangements. I'm also on our AGM committee and bylaw working group. So something that I'm working on through there is the condemnation vote that Jennifer mentioned. Essentially, it's a tactic that's used quite often to kind of have a strong unified voice on a particular topic. The university choosing to continue to increase tuition during a pandemic is extremely exploitative, and we want to, I just think that students have the right to be upset over something like this, and this is something that the university could do without for the year. So I'm really excited to see that pass, and then it will be on the agenda for the AGM for the membership to vote on. Other than that, we have been working on some stuff with the BCFS, the BC Federation students, for their campaign around the provincial election. It is kind of making sure to prioritize student voices when it comes to things like the provincial elections, under which education, post-secondary education is a major facet, and we really want to make sure our students are getting out and voting and being heard. And other than that, as part of my job as a staff liaison officer, I deal with some HR matters, such as reviewing job descriptions and regularly meeting with QP 3338, which is our union. And we have different meetings just regarding staff relations and other stuff. So that has been a big piece of my role as well. So lots of things going on. I kind of have my hand in every pot right now, but it has been an enjoyable month. And I'm really hoping to be back at the next council meeting with some updates and hopefully some progress on the things that I've been working on. So thank you, everyone, and check out my semester report when it comes out.
Thank you, Asad. All right, we're now going to move on to VP External. Summit.
Hello, is it working? I hope it is. Hi, so basically, like, I'm currently in class as well and in console as well, so I'm just trying to balance that. So please pardon me if you see a lot of disturbance and delay in turning on and off mics. Okay, so just report, right? All right, so if you guys noticed that, like, SFSS recently released the letter to Trudeau regarding the TMX pipeline, and we received quite many student unions signature, which is accumulating 280,000 students supporting the letter and calling Trudeau to stop the pipeline immediately. The leading person on that project was Wei Chin, Anuki, Dogwood, SFU Dogwood, and Justice No Pipeline. So I'm really grateful for them for all their work, hard work they put in to make it possible. And today we had our food hub program as well. So as you know, I'm leading that program. And a lot of students have been asking to make it permanent, so I will start looking into that if there is a possibility. But for now, that program will end by the end of October. It started with 30 students on average, but now it's approximately 55 students every week coming up and picking, and they have shown great appreciation towards it. So we will look into that. I'm working with our VP Student Services on this, and hopefully something will work out. SFSS has also decided to look into the rebranding of their new logo and everything else, because there is no branding done in new sub building, and we haven't ordered any kind of merchandise with our logo on it, so we are saving money on that, and we found it appropriate that we should look into that. So we are looking into that. There has been nothing major has happened yet, but if it does, then council will be notified. I am working as a working group lead on this, and we have Wei Chen, Anuki, Matthew, Provost, and Heather working on this project. Other than that, ECAC committee has not decided time to meet for this semester. People are still figuring out their schedule. As soon as that the schedule is completed, and then we will release the timing for this semester, and I will try to convene the meeting as soon as possible. So I think that was all from my side, but if you have any question, just let me know. I'm open to anything. There are other advocacy work going on as well. Mr. Leosis and I will be looking into affordable housing. So that's something that we will be working on. So if that goes well, I'll let you know. All right, for now, that will be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Samad. Corbett.
Hi, everyone. So also touched on a number of different things that we've been working together, hiring committees and stuff. So I'll just focus primarily on the financial aspects of what I've been working on and the sub. So the last 2 to 4 weeks, I've been mostly focused on getting the liaisoning with the board office moved into the student union building. When the student union building was more or less completed at the end of August, there was an inspection following up in early September. Some issues were raised, and so another inspection will be made generally by the end of September. And if that passes, then the SFS will take occupancy of the building. As Jennifer mentioned, though, we did have a discussion about delaying the opening of the building until at least November, simply because of rising COVID rates and the upcoming flu season and stuff. And we just didn't want to expose students or our staff or any other board members to any unnecessary danger. So the building is still accessible by essential personnel right now, because the SFS still is operating remotely. There's still some actions that need to be done in person. The Finance and Administrative Service Committee has approved their annual plan and has been approved by the board, and we've started working on a couple different projects, with each project having a committee member team lead. So for instance, Jennifer is working on a large scale event and project funding fund. I am working with the investments policy implementation, work with Harry, our applied science rep. I'll also be working with Paria as a student at large around participatory budgeting, which is where you take a portion of the budget and give students the opportunity to pitch and vote on different community SFU and SFS community improvements. So we'll be exploring that throughout the fall, and hopefully we'll have something started for the spring. The committee itself is also looking for a counselor. We have one open seat for council rep, so I appreciate maybe at the next meeting if you can have people motivate and send me a new person if there is anyone, and then we can get you involved in some of the projects. What else? Mostly also been focusing from the sub perspective in the leases with the subleases and letter agreements with the different student groups in place. That's taken a lot longer than expected, simply because I'll go way past the 5-minute timeline if I go into it, but it's been a challenge. That's really generally about it. If anything else was pretty much covered by also. So thank you.
Thank you, Corbett. And finally, we have Jennifer.
Hi again, everybody. So I'm going to spam a bunch of links in the chat right now. I'm so sorry in advance. This is basically, you can read it on your own, so I won't spend too much time on my verbal report. I keep detailed notes of all of the committee meetings that I chair, so you can see the events committee notes, the accessibility committee notes there. You can also see all of my work reports there. I have a Facebook page if you want to reach me there. I also run the SFSS events Instagram if you are curious about our upcoming events there. You can also email me. So I mainly want to talk about like fun stuff and events coming up. So this Friday, we have a hip hop dance workshop. If you ever want to get active and make new friends, please come by. All the details are on the SFSS events Instagram that I linked in the chat just now. And on Friday, we also have our Figma workshop. You'll learn how to redesign the Spotify app interface, which is going to be super fun. And Figma is free. Anyone can use it. So feel free to check that out. On Saturday, the 19th, we have an Afro dance workshop hosted by Soka. So that's going to be really fun. I'm so excited. And then next Tuesday on September 22nd, we have a bullet journaling workshop. So if you want to get organized in time for midterm season, check that out. On the Wednesday, we have a pets social. So please, if you have pets, come by. We want to see your adorable pets. And on the 27th, on a Sunday, we'll have a rave streaming party. So there's an app called Rave, and then we download it, and then we can listen to music together and talk about music recommendations. And then, so September 28th to October 4th, we have Cultural Week. We have a lot of different cultural groups on campus collaborating with us on this. So be sure to check out SFSS_events because a lot of the collaborations are for Instagram takeovers. So if you want to learn about the different cultural groups on campus, feel free to check that out. On the Sunday, October 4th, we also have a samosa food workshop. So if you want to learn how to make samosas or watch me fail at making samosas, be sure to keep that in mind and book that time off on your calendar. And some other fun stuff. Let me see. So other projects I've been working on are the SFSS podcast project with Balkis. I think we pretty much settled on the name WTF SFSS. So each episode is going to be like WTF happened with the student union building, and then we'll give updates on the student union building or whatever. So that's been fun. I've been working on it with Balkis, our at-large rep, and Nafoni, our health science rep, on that. The SFSS also has a Spotify account now, so I'm working on a playlist of songs that represent each board member. I'm so sorry if you get to my song and it's just screaming, but that's the type of music I like, so you have been warned. I am also looking into making a TikTok, so we can post like event updates on there. We can post like day in the life of a committee member or like a board member, what's happening on SFSS committees, and just like breaking down what happens at board meetings to make it more accessible to students. And also, if you want to know more about what I have been working on throughout the semester, feel free to check out my semester report, which will be up soon. But can anybody guess how many pages my report is? I'll give a shout out to whoever gets it right. 210? No, not close. Nope. Okay. 70. Okay, Alvin is the closest. It is actually 46 pages. So be on the lookout for that in October once it's published on the SFSS website. I know I'm extra, but the report has lots of detail. Feel free to check it out. That's all for my verbal report today.
Thank you, Jennifer. I kind of feel sorry for whoever has to actually read that report. 40, wow, that's long. All right, we're now going to move on to discussion items. What's our first one? AGM outreach. All right, so this item was put here regarding the upcoming AGM. Essentially, we wanted to have a bit of discussion regarding some plans for getting attendance. I'm hoping that some of the board members can also speak on this as well. I'm hoping also that all the counselors will be obviously in attendance at this meeting because we really need all of you to help us pass these bylaws, but also to bring as many of your friends and as many of your student union exec teams and members as possible so that we can reach quorum, since historically we do have difficulty with reaching quorum, and since it is online this year, it's going to be difficult as well. We really do need to reach quorum in order to have a vote on this, and then to also pass these bylaws that the governance committee has been working so hard on. If anyone wants to speak on this, please list yourself in the chat. Yes, Helen.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My apologies for coming in late today, first and foremost. I just started a new job today, and I'm literally in my new office's workplace, in the office of my new office, doing this meeting. And I might be slightly disoriented as I'm slightly tired right now. So thank you, Serena. So yeah, my apologies if I might seem a little bit loopy right now. I'm just very tired. But going back onto this, thank you, Victor. Going on to this discussion item, the AGM is coming up, and we have all been working so hard to make sure that this happens and goes smoothly online. Like what Zaid was saying, we do need to reach quorum. So as an action item, and we'll discuss it further on later on today, but as an action item, what we're asking for all counselors to do is to go back to their student unions, their constituency groups, their working groups, and to entice your general members to come out to the AGM held on October 26th. I'm going to put this in the chat right here, October 26th, for you guys to remember. And start by trying to bring in at least 10 of your general members as a starter. And hopefully we can grow that number, because it's super important that we get students out to pass on the resolutions that we're trying to make and the changes that we're trying to implement for all of us. So yeah, that's my 2 cents for today.
Thank you, Helen. Yeah, just reiterating that it is very, very, very important that we reach quorum and that all of you attend and bring your exec teams for all of your student unions, and advertise the AGM to your membership as well and motivate people to join. I mean, if we don't reach quorum, then we won't be able to pass any of the resolutions that we've been working so hard on, right? And then we won't be able to have council in the new position that we've been looking to bring it to. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to say? I'm just going to give it a couple moments. You can list yourself in the chat. Yes, also.
Yeah, I know Helen asked if there were any board members who wanted to speak to it, but honestly, I think that you covered it pretty good. I know that council is going to be really integral to helping us reach these numbers, but the board is also going to be doing an extensive campaign of our own to reach, hopefully well above quorum, with different, I guess, you know, incentives and messaging and different things that I think are really going to help get students involved. I really think that the condemnation vote is going to be something that brings students out to our AGM. Oftentimes things like the financial reports and reports from the executive are not super exciting, but this is something that has touched every single student at SFU. And it is something that I think that we can mostly band on. Of course, we're going to have to wait to see the results of the vote. However, I think that it will be a good way to get students out and to also send a strong message. So we're going to be making material, doing a campaign, trying to reach out to people, and we are really hoping that, you know, with the combined efforts of board, council, and, you know, our community members, FSUs, DSUs, clubs, and groups, we can definitely hit that number. I think we can do it.
Thank you, Helen.
Thank you. Yeah, and awesome. Thanks for touching on all of that as well. If it entices anyone, but just speaking on to some of the material and the promos that we'll be making. So we do have an AGM working group that Gabe and other board members are leading. And I've been happy to be a part of that and be involved in the discourse going on in there. And one of our goals right now is to create little video promos of the AGM and to post it on social media and, you know, hopefully get more students to come out. And one of the videos that I'm hoping to do will include some more faces from council. Cough, cough, Zaid. I hope you can make it, Mr. Chair. But that also goes out to all the other counselors as well. So if you'd like some FaceTime too, and you want to be more involved in the AGM, you know who to hit up. Just message me, message Gabe, message Zaid, whoever from your leaders from council and board, let us know and we'll get you involved.
Thank you, Helen. Quince?
Hi, yes. It was mentioned that it was important for this meeting because one of the things is the condemnation of SFU for increasing tuition during a pandemic. My question is it likely that SFU will listen, or this condemnation will have any effect whatsoever, or is it likely that they will just ignore us? Does anyone know or have an opinion on how likely that is?
Also, you can speak.
Yeah, no, because that's a really good question. And this oftentimes can kind of be the start of a bigger campaign. I think that this is going to be, hopefully, if the vote goes the way that we think it will, which I highly doubt that a lot of students are in favor of tuition going up, is that it is kind of an undeniable message from the students that we don't appreciate what's happening. And that on top of that, as the biggest stakeholders and the most populous group at SFU, that something is very wrong that the university needs to address. So this will be happening in conjunction with a lot of different, a lot of other actions, not just this vote, but this vote I think is going to be a good launch off point. And I mean, it's something that's quite undeniable because it is the annual general meeting, it was open to the membership, and it is, I think, if successful, going to be a very key player in any other tuition related campaigns that we do run. So long way to say, you know, that's the hope that the university will do something about it, and we're going to continue working on it until they do.
Thank you, Asab. We just had a question here from Serena. What platform will the AGM be occurring through? If anyone, oh yes, so Corbett says that at present it's going to be Zoom, which they are working on. We're now going to move down the list. Alvin, you have the floor.
On the topic of the tuition, are you guys working with Tuition Freeze now? Is that still a group that's active? I'm not too particularly sure. If you know, I would like to know.
Balkis?
Yeah, so as we know, Tuition Freeze now was pretty active last year. TFN is still around, but we're actually working with not only TFN, but also the Graduate Student Society, as well as the Teaching Support Staff Union. That includes like TAs and RAs, and working together in the COVID-19 coalition. And part of our campaign, we will be launching a fall campaign, and it's definitely does include just justice in terms of just democracy in terms of how SFU is what it is and freezing tuition. So yeah, to answer that, yes, we're working with them and other groups to pressure not only on tuition, but just equitable everything at SFU as well.
Thank you, Balkis. Is there any other discussion on this item? To answer your question, Adrian, we're going to be voting on the draft bylaw changes, which does include the new governance model at this AGM. The draft bylaws are now they've been completed and approved by the governance committee of the board and are now going for approval at the board's next meeting, and will then be put on to the agenda for the AGM. So yes, we will be voting on that at the AGM. Yes, Caitlin.
Hi, I had a question in the chat, but nobody answered it, so I'm gonna just ask it. Because I have a tutorial from 3:30 to 4:20, when is the latest I could come to this AGM because I want to be there?
If anyone knows the answer to this question, feel free to speak out. I'm not clear on the timing for the AGM.
Okay, if you don't know, when would you know? Like timing wise, like would you just promote it like a certain way, be like latest time people can come in is this or something like that?
Sorry, I mean, I'm not part of the organizing committee for the AGM, so I was actually just leaving the floor open to any of the members to speak. Asab's on the list, so you can speak to that.
Yeah, so Caitlin, to answer your question, it's not necessarily a situation where if you don't show up by a certain time that you're not able to participate. It's more so you're able to show up at any time. We just need quorum to be able to pass certain motions and stuff. So as long as you are there, you're able to cast your vote. If it coincides with like courses and tutorials, kind of that's something we tried our best to work around by even asking the university like what times would be best and what times are students most available to attend the AGM. But you're welcome to join in at any point in time and you're able to cast your vote.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any more discussion? Any questions regarding this discussion item? Going once, going twice. All right, we're going to move on to our next item. I believe it's SFU air quality. Kyle, you brought this item, so you have the floor.
Hi, thank you, Chair. So this is in regards to the, I assume everyone has seen and possibly felt the horrid air quality due to the unfortunate wildfires happening down on the West Coast. What is important to note, aside from SFU's lack of communication regarding the severity of it, is that we are actually in an unhealthy range of particulate matter 2.5, which is a specific type of matter released by wildfires that is extremely small, and more specifically, it is smaller than the diameter of human hair, meaning it can get bypass the physical defenses through your nose and mouth to enter your lungs and can potentially cause damage. At 150 or above, which is where we've been at for the past half week, that's where it is unhealthy for most all ages, and especially for anyone with lung or heart complications. I bring this to discussion because I think it's bad and should be noted that SFU has not released any information about the horrid air quality, given that they do have students going out to actually reach SFU and go on to campus, specifically because even though we are in COVID and masks are more common, with PM 2.5, because of its small diameter, it's only 25 microns, which is, for reference, it's tiny. It is smaller than human hair. But you need an N95 or better quality mask to even prevent that from entering your lungs, which is the important thing.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Is there any discussion on this topic? Is there anything anyone would like to say on this? Yes, Quint?
So we're essentially talking about how SFU has kind of forgotten that it still has its students in its range, even though it's doing fully online classes. Because if this was during normal times, they probably would be obligated to tell people don't come into the school or something about that. And now we're complaining that since there's no longer classes, they've forgotten to warn and talk to us about this. And I see that there's a direct response to this, so go for it.
Kyle, you can speak.
Thank you, Chair. I do apologize for not being clear. Yes, that is part of it. To me, it is similar to, say, how SFU has failed in the past to communicate efficiently to the student body about issues that may be directly impacting them. We can always go back to the jokes about SFU. You don't know if the campus will be closed due to snow until you're on campus and stuck up there. This, to me, is a similar situation, except we're actually dealing with something that is objectively harmful and dangerous to plenty of students' health by having them go out and in the public outdoor air at this current level of unhealthy quality.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm just going to add on to this a little bit. I think when it comes to how it's affecting students and maybe where SFU could be giving us some kind of advisory is when it comes to students who have Labs on campus, I mean, we're not 100% online, so some of us do go to campus. So I mean, I think the point here is that there hasn't been any communication regarding it. Maybe telling students that do have classes on campus that, I don't know, they should be taking some sort of precautions due to the air quality, something along those lines. Would anyone else like to speak on this? Yes, Roland?
I mean, I agree with everything that's been said thus far. I just want to encourage everyone to sort of remember Hanlon's razor, that don't attribute to malice that which can be attributed to stupidity, frankly. I don't want to assume that SFU is being malicious in their lack of communication. It's simply that they have some sort of other systemic failure. So I want to encourage this conversation not to sort of assume the worst of the bodies at SFU or whomever should be pointing this out. I think there's just perhaps a larger failure or something that's gone awry, not that they're actively trying to poison their students.
Thank you, Roland. Kyle, you have a direct response.
Thank you for bringing that up. I do apologize if it came off as accusatory, but it was one of those things where, regardless of whether it's due to incompetence, or rather, even though I know it's not due to malice because that'd be irrational, the fact is we need to address this this lack of communication, regardless of why it happened. The fact of the matter is they have not been in contact with the student body, given an advisory or a little health warning to especially maybe some of the students who have lung conditions. Anyone who, especially since we do have, as Zaid said, some on-campus labs and other activities that have been set up by SFU themselves.
Thank you, Kyle. Ryan?
Hey there, thanks, Zaid. I guess I'm curious, and I personally would appreciate having communication from SFU on this, but I'm curious as to what you're hoping they will say in an email outside of what is already communicated through provincial health authorities in the same way that COVID information has been communicated. I feel like SFU is only going to just reiterate the things that we are seeing everywhere already about the air quality, and so another email about it would be helpful, sure, but I don't know if it would be providing any new information for us.
Thank you, Ryan. Just for my records here, Juanita, are you a counselor?
No, I'm here in place of Fego.
Oh, I forgot, sorry. But yes, you may speak.
Yes, thank you. I'm the treasurer from SOCA. On Sunday night, there was the New West fire. And unfortunately, almost every student that I've talked to that has been living in SFU residence, Barnaby campus, had to sleep the whole night with like the smell of gasoline going all over, all the way from Macau to townhouses. And everyone was complaining of the smell of gasoline, and no one from SFU or SFU residents communicated to the students that this has been happening. Even till this day, no one actually knows exactly what happened. Some people theorize like, oh, it's probably like when they were like trying to clear away or extinguish the fire, maybe the smell was going to Burnaby Mountain. But there has been no communication at all about the air quality or what people should do or what happened or anything. And I think the smell stretched out far enough for even people in Cornerstone, because I have a friend there who also complained about the same thing. So yeah, I just thought that since we're talking about this, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I heard about that. The fire in US was quite large. There was also a fire on, I guess, the northern side of the mountain as well. I'm not sure if any advisory was given regarding that to students. All right, Ashutosh, you have the floor.
Hi, just talking about the fire, the smoke presence on the mountain. One of the buildings on Cornerstone, Novo 2, the fire alarm went off because someone had left their window open, and the entire room started smelling like smoke. So they were in quite a lot of trouble, and it happened twice, not just once, during the weekend. So just thought it was relevant. That's all.
Thank you. Yeah, that is a relevant point. That I mean, if there's that much concentration of smoke, right, enough to set off a fire alarm, then obviously that isn't healthy. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on this topic? Is there any further discussion? I'd hope that SFU would release some sort of statement or something acknowledging the fires that have been going on, maybe sometime in the next week or so. Helen, you have the floor.
Thank you. Yeah. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Kyle for bringing up a discussion item for us to talk about, and obviously it's making fruitful discussion within council, which that makes me very happy. So thank you for bringing that up. I guess this question has already been asked, but I guess I kind of want to reiterate, like, I see the issue with it, and obviously it is a major health hazard for, you know, our lungs, our breathing. I'm no science student, but I know exactly where you're coming from when it comes to this issue. I guess my question is, what do you see in SFSS Council, in the SFSS Council, that can help forward this? Like, I don't know, do you want us to complain to SFU to make some kind of email? I just want to know where you're coming from and what outcome you're trying to get through using council as a medium for your cause.
Thank you, Helen. Kyle, you have a direct response.
Thank you for bringing that up. What I want is to use council to speak on behalf of the student body. And also, since SFU has not spoken about the dangers of it, I also want council to distribute to their DSUs, their classmates, other people you know, to inform them. For example, I'll be honest, even though I'm in science, I did not know that about the PM 2.5 particles or whatever that the wildfires are producing, and how you need an N95 or better quality mask can stop them. I would have thought, okay, if I just wear my regular mask that I've been using for COVID, that would be enough, and still go outside. It's stuff like that. And bringing back to what I want council to do with regarding to SFU, I would prefer just an inquiry into why did they not address this issue? Why did they not address the fact that the fires in New West caused and the smoke alarms have gone off in residential? Why, even though it may be redundant for them to send out emails, I prefer to experience redundancy of too much communication rather than wonder if they are even aware of what's going on due to lack of communication on any issue, from this smoke to the snow warnings or forecasts going forward during the winter months.
Thank you, Kyle. I think this is something that we could explore further. I mean, just regarding getting more communication from SFU, I guess, with weather and things as well, because I mean, they aren't super clear when it comes to weather. I know that, and in the past. Is there any other discussion or anything else anyone would like to say on this topic? Yes, Alvin.
Yeah, I like to echo the agreement with this, because it'd be better if SFU would say it, because that would be people's first line of info. And at the same time, I think we all agree, so we should get a concrete idea of what we should do. So council members, pull up a few articles and send it to your DSUs, tell your friends. And in terms of getting SFU to say something, I wouldn't know who to email, I wouldn't know who to ask. So that's why I would ask the chairs of the council or the board to figure out who to talk to and inquire why there hasn't been a statement and if it's worth making a statement. So that's it.
All right, thank you, Alvin. So yeah, a bit of a couple of action items here then. For myself and for the board is just to speak on this together and to also look into what we can do. And I guess in communicating with the university regarding, I guess, just having more communication from them regarding weather changes, and so that something like this doesn't happen again. But when it comes to counselors, so some action items, I'm thinking, Kyle, the links that you sent in the Discord, I would encourage each counselor to share these with your respective DSUs, with your executive teams, and then potentially maybe make a post. So if you can, just make sure to share those links, the ones that are detailing the kind of protective equipment that are recommended, stuff along those lines. Kyle, how does that sound to you?
Sounds great. Thank you, Zaid.
All right, thank you. So yeah, again, every counselor here, it's my action item for you is to please share those links and that information with your respective groups. Is there any more discussion? Helen?
Yeah, sorry. I was actually just wanting to echo what you were just saying, Zaid. Just talk to your DSUs. And I was going to say that kind of what Alvin was just saying not too long ago. If we wanted to further bring up this topic, through the chain and bring it up to SFU, I would recommend the board to do so. Maybe write up a motion on talking to SFU. I'm not quite sure. I think the board, because you guys are in a higher position of power than we are at this time, you guys have more juice, to talk to SFU. So I would recommend the board to say something to SFU about it. And if you need counselor support on it, if you need Kyle's support as well, you know where to find us.
All right, thank you, Helen. Yeah, we'll explore this further. Definitely, is there any more discussion? I'm just keeping an eye on the time. We do have quite a bit of stuff to get to here, so I'm thinking we will move on. What is our next item? Let me just check. All right, the defunding the police resource document. So this is just a discussion of for the counselors that weren't at that previous meeting, we basically had a meeting regarding the board's decision to pursue blocking police recruiters from campus, and then the broader theme being the SFSS's support for the movement to defund the police and to minimize the police presence on campus. So we had a discussion regarding that, and there was counselors that had questions and things, so we sought some clarification and an information kind of package from the board, which graciously has prepared a document for us, which I shared with you all just before this meeting, which includes some details and links just behind the whole movement. But I'm going to ask Asub here if she'd like to say a few words regarding this.
Yeah, thank you, Zaid. And this is a compilation of a lot of different resources. So I am definitely hoping that everyone will, to be able to take a little bit of time to look through them. And particularly, I tried to look for ones that were open source and were available online for students. However, there are also links to different texts. But just to kind of give an overview of why we put this together and why I think it is important for council to review is because in our statement that we put out, we did specifically say that the SFSS Board of Directors supported the defunding of the police. And oftentimes this can kind of evoke a very strong reaction from people. I think that that's very normal because the police has become a very normalized and very integral part of our lives, whether that be in a good way for some people or for many, many other people, particularly Black and Indigenous and racialized folks, is incredibly traumatizing and oftentimes humiliating experience to have to be in the presence of the police or to have interactions with the police. So a number of counselors did ask for some resources. So these ones are ones that I found were quite helpful, kind of in an order that goes through not only what it means to want to defund the police, but also looking into alternatives, and then looking into some of the different intersections between, you know, youth and juvenile detention centers, and the relationships between gender, sexuality, and incarceration. And so I think that there is a pretty broad look over what our relationships with the police have been in the different intersections of our lives, and also what kind of options do we have to move forward in a way that is safer, in a way that is more appropriate for the world that we're living in right now. And it, I really think, is something that once you read it, you start to see that it is possible, and it is a lot more doable than perhaps we had thought it was upon hearing about defunding the police or police abolition in the first place. Something that shocked me is that yearly, $15 billion is put forward by the Canadian government, municipal, federal, and provincial municipal and federal police services. And that is about $41 million a day of taxpayer money, which could go into different things that I think are quite important, such as education, particularly post-secondary education, healthcare, and then looking into different ways of community support and community self-governance as well. So I just wanted to really emphasize and reiterate that, you know, the policing system and the RCMP was always a broken system. It is a system that is still broken, and it is a system that continues to harm and to hurt a lot of people, that whether it be you, whether it be people in your community, it's something that I think is the responsibility of all of us, not just Indigenous and Black people who have been oftentimes the biggest targets of police, but it's the responsibility of every single one of us to make sure that our communities are safe for each other. So I really hope that people will take some time to look through these links, videos, etc. I tried to find ones that were, you know, a little bit had more accessible language and were a little bit more clear, I guess, at least for me. So please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. A lot of them are in a Canadian context, so it does provide a little more information that's a little more relevant to us. And I really, really hope that in this charge, council will support the board. Of course, that is your decision as a council, but in a recent statement put out by the new SFU president, she specifically said that SFU condemns institutional brutality in all forms, and that does include police brutality. I think that this is indicative of the noise that we've been making has already made some impact. But with the council and with the board and with the student body in general, I think this is a way to move forward to ensure that police are not allowed to, you know, participate in events on campus, recruit on campus, and that SFU will minimize their relationship with them. And hopefully these resources will give some background into why that's important and why that will help. So yeah, please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or if you want more resources. I wanted to keep it fairly small, but some of these are like links that have a million links within them. So there's lots of reading here. So yeah, and I'm happy to talk about it with anyone who's interested. And that's about it for me. So please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll pass it back to the chair. So thank you.
Thank you, Asab. Yeah, I implore all of you guys to read over this document, look through the links. I did send it out to all of you through email. So yeah, do check it out. I think this is something that we'll probably come back to again in another meeting if we want to do a motion for expressing our support or whatever we do come to in the end. But obviously we are short on time here, and I want to give everyone a lot of time to really go through the documents and think about it, and then also look at what kind of actions the SFSS is taking right now, and then we will have more discussion on it and reach some sort of form of consensus. But if anyone has any immediate questions right now or any kind of discussion, please do list yourself and feel free to ask. All right, so just again, for all counselors, another action item is to go over this document and go through the links. We will have discussion on this again at a future meeting, so do keep it in mind. We are running short on time, so we're now going to go to our next item. So that's it for discussion items. I was going to speak on an item on the gondola project, but we have a presentation still left that we need to get through as soon as possible. So Helen, you have the floor for the presentation on the SFSS bylaw review.
Okay, thank you. Well, I will just say this before I go into, we are getting very, very short on time, and I know our meetings are supposed to be done at 6 o'clock. Either we can extend it until 6:30. Hopefully I can be done before then, or we can, or I'm just suggesting, or we can do a special like emergency council meeting for next week to just solely focus on bylaw review. But I don't know, Mr. Chair, what do you think?
Let's have some discussion on that then, actually. Let's see what councillors think. Would you prefer if we have a separate meeting? Because this is a very, very important topic for us.
It's huge.
We do have, yeah, it's a very detailed topic as well. There's a full set of draft bylaws concerning the whole new governance structure that we're looking at for council. So this is something that we need to look through quite thoroughly as well. So my question to you all is, do we want to either go overtime with this meeting, or do we want to have another meeting next week? Just it'll probably be a shorter meeting, but it'll be dedicated to the bylaw review and AGM. Thinking, do we want to have a vote on this? Helen?
Yeah, we should probably take a vote. I was going to say, if we end up voting to do a special council meeting next week, what I will do with the presentation that I had prepared today, I will send it out to all councillors to review, and then we go over it thoroughly at a for a meeting next week, if the vote should sway that way. If not, then we vote to do it over time today, then so it shall be. I just want to let you know that at the end of the day today, I'm still going to provide you those resources that I had prepared for us today. So you guys are all kept in the loop of all the biggest changes that have been made between the power structure and the relationship between council and board. I'm just concerned if this is going to be too long for everyone. Okay.
Right, so I'm just trying to think about how do we do this in a vote here. So
I think someone has to move to like,
yeah.
I move to have a special council meeting next week, Wednesday at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, just solely for bylaw review. If that's how it works.
Software system seconds.
I'm not 100% sure if that is how it works. Also, could you help me out here?
If you wanted to add a motion to the agenda to call another meeting, you would be able to do that by amending the agenda to add that motion, and then you would pass with a 2/3 vote. Or as the chair, you just have the authority to call that meeting. But I guess right now, if your question is, do you want to either have that meeting, or if you want to extend the meeting, you're able to just vote to extend the meeting, but you can't just put forward a vote to add another meeting, if that makes sense.
All right, so we need to amend the agenda then to include a motion to call a meeting next week. That's what I'm getting. All right, so I'm going to move to amend the agenda to include a motion that reads, just trying to think how I'd word this. Be it resolved to
convene a special council meeting?
Yes, so the motion would read, be it resolved to convene a special council meeting on
solely on the purposes of SFSS council empowerment and bylaw review.
Right, I'm going to keep it short. So this motion is going to read, be it resolved to convene a special council meeting on Wednesday, September 16th at 5 p.m. Does anyone second this motion?
ORSU second.
Second. Roland, please.
Well, you are calling for a meeting on Wednesday, September 16th, which is today.
Oh.
Don't you want to call that for next week?
Oh, thank you. Oh, man.
That's going to be the 23rd.
Yes, 23rd. All right, I'm going to read it out again. Be it resolved to convene a special council meeting on September 23rd at 5 p.m. Does anyone second this amendment? Or this, yes, this amendment.
Cogsci seconds.
All right. Cognitive science seconds. All right. Seeing no discussion, we're going to, yes, I'll write it in there. Seeing no discussion, we're going to move to vote. This is just to add it as a motion for us to vote on, so I'm just adding it to the agenda right now. So I'm going to seek unanimous consent. So seek unanimous consent. If you dissent, please unmute your microphone now. All right, so seeing no objections, so this motion has now been added to the agenda. I'm going to type it out. Yeah, come with your pets, everyone. Be it resolved to All right, so that is the motion that is typed into the chat. I hope it makes sense. All right, now we're going to vote on this motion. So reading it out again, be it resolved to convene a special council meeting on September 26th at 5 p.m. Wait, please tell me that's the right. No, it's 23rd. Oh, I messed up again. Sorry, guys. Oh, man, I'm losing my marbles. It's been too long since our last meeting. All right, so be it resolved to convene a special council meeting on September 23rd at 5 p.m. Does anyone move this motion?
Software systems moves.
Software systems moves. Does anyone second?
Political science seconds.
Political science seconds. All right. Any discussion? Basically, we're going to just have this meeting specifically just for going over the draft bylaws that have been written by the governance committee and the special working group. So we're going to be going over that as a presentation, and then we will come back to, again, get recruiting people to attend the AGM so that we do reach quorum. Yes, Helen?
Thank you. Yes, and just to look on, I guess, the optimistic side of convening a special council meeting for this matter. And again, council has been working hard on getting all of these bylaws together, working with the board and making sure that, we do create a fair and at least we try to attempt to create a fair and democratic governance structure within the SFSS. On the optimistic side, I will be, again, sharing this PowerPoint to everyone in Discord once we get off this call. So then all counselors can look at the major changes within these draft bylaws. And then you guys can write down any concerns you may have, anything that you might see as a good fit to it, something that just doesn't work. Write all your concerns down and bring it to the next council meeting. Because the one thing that we all have to remember, that this special proposal to make sure that council is on the top, the legal official board of the SFSS. It's to show that, we're going to be playing a bigger role if this should pass at the AGM. So come with your concerns, come with your opinions, because we have to decide if we want this, because it's going to be a big undertaking that council will be taking on under this new governance structure. We have to decide, right now, like, or at next meeting, do we want to take this on? And if it's a no, then it's a no. But if it's a yes, then that's even better. So yeah, please just come with your thinking caps next week.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions about this motion? Otherwise, we're going to move to vote. All right, we're going to move to vote by, what's the word? It's not acclamation. By mute/unmute mic. I'm just gonna call it that. So all those who are in favor are going to be in favor in convening this meeting next week. This is a contested vote. So, I mean, there may be people against it, so I'm not going to vote for unanimous consent. We're going to be doing, it's a contested vote. So all those who are in favor will unmute their mics at the time when I do call, and then afterwards, everyone will unmute their mics when I call for those against. It's just how we usually do things. I just forgot the word. So we're going to move to vote now. All right, all those in favor of convening a special council meeting next week on Wednesday, please unmute your microphones now. Mute your mics, everyone. All right, all those against, please unmute your microphones now. Simran, do you abstain? All right, please mute your microphone. All right, this votes. All right, clearly this vote carries. This motion passes. All right, we're going to be convening a special meeting then next Wednesday at 5 p.m. per this motion that we just passed. And so that's basically it for discussion items. So the presentation will happen then. So what I will do though is I just need to give a quick announcement to everyone regarding the gondola project. So basically, if you haven't heard, for the month of September, right now, TransLink is conducting public consultations to see if there's enough support from community members for the Burnaby Mountain Gondola project. So it's really important that we have everyone fill out this. That everyone fills out this survey in if they're in support. So I'm gonna just add this link here. So it's really important. I want all of you, all councillors, to please do fill out this survey. That's why I couldn't give it at our next meeting, is because time might run out. So it's just really important to everyone. If we do have overwhelming support for this, then there's more support for a gondola being built to SFU in the future. So also, if you're looking for more involvement, let me just copy sent you guys this stuff here. There's some links. So there's a virtual open house happening September 19th, telephone town hall, which Balti's just also linked, and you can sign up at that link that I sent, that was sent there. So, but that's basically it. Our next meeting, so we have a meeting next week, and then we'll have a regular meeting the week following. So lots of stuff to do. That's the end of our meeting today. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for being a bit rusty with my Robert's rules and everything, and constituencies. I can pronounce it now. But yeah, thank you, everyone. Have a great night. See you guys next week.